Life doesn't break men overnight. It breaks them slowly, through pressure, loss, betrayal, and silence. One day the job is gone. Another day, the relationship collapses, and suddenly, you realize no one is coming to save you. Most people look for motivation. Stoics look for durability, because life will test you, again and again. The question is not if you will suffer, it's whether your mind is built to survive it. Today, we build that mindset. Rule 1. Control the only thing that matters, your response. A man is rarely destroyed by what happens to him. He is destroyed by how he reacts when it happens. Life throws insults, injustice, and loss at everyone without discrimination. The difference between collapse and survival is not strength, luck, or intelligence. It is whether you can command your response when pressure arrives. You will be disrespected at some point. You will face unfair treatment that has no explanation. You will lose things you believed were stable. None of this is abnormal, and none of it is personal. What turns these moments into disasters is emotional surrender. Stoicism begins with a brutal but freeing truth. You do not control events. You do not control other people's opinions, moods, or decisions. You do not control timing, outcomes, or fairness. What you always control is your judgment, your reaction, and your next move. This is the core of the Stoic principle called the dichotomy of control. Epictetus said it plainly. It's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things. Read that again, slowly. The event itself is neutral until your mind interprets it. Anger, panic, bitterness, and despair are not forced upon you. They are internal decisions made at speed, often without awareness. Think about being laid off from your job. One man panics, lashes out, blames everyone, and spirals into resentment. Another feels the same shock but chooses restraint, clarity, and deliberate action. The event is identical, yet the outcomes diverge completely. The difference is not the circumstances, it is the response. The same is true in relationships. A critical comment from your wife can trigger defensiveness, silence, or rage. At work, being overlooked or talked down to can ignite ego and sabotage your focus. Most damage is self-inflicted in the seconds after the trigger. Stoicism trains you to slow that moment down. The practice is simple, but not easy. Pause. Name. Choose. Pause before reacting, even for 2 seconds. Name what you feel without judgment. Anger, fear, humiliation, disappointment. Then choose a response aligned with strength, not impulse. That pause is where control is reclaimed. This discipline does not make you passive or weak. It makes you dangerous in the best sense of the word. A man who cannot be provoked cannot be controlled. A man who commands his reactions keeps his dignity under pressure. That is real power. Life will keep testing you through people, loss, and chaos. You cannot stop the tests from coming, but you can decide that none of them will own your mind. This is the foundation of a mindset that survives anything. If you control your response, nothing can truly defeat you. Rule 2. Accept pain instead of running from it. American men are not afraid of pain. They have endured long hours, physical strain, and silent pressure for generations. What they fear is pain that feels pointless, endless, and out of their control. Pain without meaning breaks morale faster than pain itself. Stoicism exists to give pain a purpose. Modern culture teaches avoidance. If something is uncomfortable, distract yourself. If it hurts, numb it. If it challenges you, replace it with comfort. This creates men who function well only when life is easy. Stoicism takes the opposite path. It does not promise comfort, relief, or emotional anesthesia. It teaches voluntary hardship, choosing difficulty before life forces it on you. Marcus Aurelius wrote that hardship is not punishment, but preparation. Seneca went further, treating discomfort as daily mental training. Pain, when chosen, stops being an enemy. Cold mornings, heavy lifts, and long days sharpen the mind. Silence, when provoked, builds restraint and authority. Endurance without complaint builds internal order. Each act conditions you to remain steady under pressure. This is why Stoics train while things are calm. They push the body and mind when no crisis is present. They practice restraint when anger would be justified. They deny themselves excess when comfort is available. By the time hardship arrives, it feels familiar. Look at the man who trains only when motivated. He collapses the moment motivation fades. Now compare him to the man who trains while tired. One panics under stress, the other functions. The difference is not toughness, it is conditioning. The same principle applies emotionally. When someone insults you and you stay silent, you are not weak. You are strengthening control over your impulses. When you endure discomfort without announcing it, you are building composure. That composure becomes unshakable confidence over time. Men who cannot tolerate discomfort become reactive. They need relief, validation, and reassurance to stay stable. Men who accept pain remain calm when systems collapse. They do not scramble for escape when things get hard. They move forward deliberately. Stoicism does not romanticize suffering. It simply refuses to fear it. Pain becomes information, not a threat. Pressure becomes resistance, not a warning sign. This mindset changes everything. When a crisis hits, most people search for comfort. Stoics search for structure. They lean into what they have already practiced. They trust the training embedded in their habits. That trust prevents panic. You do not need life to be gentle. You need to be able to stand inside difficulty without flinching. The man who runs from pain is always chasing safety. The man who accepts pain carries safety within himself. What you don't run from can't control you. Rule 3. Stop expecting life to be fair. Most men are not destroyed by hardship. They are destroyed by the belief that hardship should not have happened to them. The moment you think, "I don't deserve this," bitterness begins to grow. That expectation of fairness turns pain into resentment. Stoicism cuts this belief at the root. Life has never promised justice, balance, or equal treatment. It distributes opportunity and loss without explanation. Some work harder and receive less. Others betray and walk away untouched. Expecting fairness from an indifferent world is emotional self-sabotage. Men collapse when reality violates their internal rule book. They believed loyalty would be returned. They believed effort guaranteed reward. They believed decency would be recognized. When these expectations fail, anger replaces clarity. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. Each morning, he prepared his mind for interference, ingratitude, and selfishness. Not because he was pessimistic, but because he was realistic. By expecting difficulty, he removed the element of shock. Nothing feels unbearable when it is anticipated. Think of betrayal. The pain hurts, but the shock hurts more. The mind screams that this was not supposed to happen. That protest drains energy and clouds judgment. Stoicism teaches you to remove the protest. The same applies to unrecognized effort. You give your best at work, and someone else gets the credit. If you expected fairness, resentment follows. If you expect indifference, you stay composed. Your power remains intact. Expecting difficulty does not mean becoming cold or cynical. It means refusing to be naive. You can still act with integrity without demanding reward. You can still commit fully without needing validation. This emotional independence is strength. The Stoic mindset is built on readiness. You assume obstacles before they appear. You plan for resistance rather than ideal conditions. When difficulty arrives, you do not pause in disbelief. You move immediately into response. This practice changes how pain lands. Loss becomes heavy but not paralyzing. Injustice becomes frustrating but not consuming. You stop wasting energy arguing with reality. That energy becomes available for action. Expecting ease makes men fragile. Expecting difficulty makes them durable. One mindset collapses under surprise. The other absorbs impact without cracking. Durability is the goal. Stoicism does not promise fairness. It promises stability in an unfair world. You do not need life to be just to function well. You need clarity, preparedness, and discipline. Those are always within your control. When you stop expecting fairness, resentment loses its grip. You stop personalizing chaos. You stop measuring your worth by outcomes. You focus on what remains yours. Conduct and character. That focus creates calm. Life will disappoint you again. People will fail you. Effort will sometimes go unrewarded. None of this has to break you. You don't break when you stop being surprised. Rule 4. Detach from outcomes. Commit to action. Most men collapse not because they fail, but because they cling to outcomes. They tie their identity to results they cannot fully control. When the result slips away, so does their sense of stability. Stoicism offers a different anchor. It teaches commitment to action, not attachment to reward. Outcomes are unstable by nature. They depend on timing, other people, chance, and conditions beyond your reach. Effort, however, is always available to you. This is why Stoics measure success by intention and discipline. What you control deserves your loyalty. Epictetus made this distinction clear. Your duty is not to win, succeed, or be praised. Your duty is to show up fully and act with integrity. Whether the world cooperates is secondary. This mindset protects you from emotional collapse. Consider the gym. If you train only for visible results, you quit when progress slows. If you train because training is your duty, you continue regardless. The man focused on action builds strength quietly. The man obsessed with outcomes burns out. The same principle applies in business. You can execute perfectly and still lose. Markets change, partners fail, timing shifts. Attachment to outcomes creates panic and bitterness. Commitment to process creates composure and adaptability. Relationships operate under the same law. You can give effort, honesty, and loyalty, and still be left. If your peace depends on how others respond, you become fragile. If your peace depends on your conduct, you remain intact. Stoicism protects dignity when attachment fails. Detachment does not mean indifference. You still care deeply about doing your part well. You simply refuse to stake your worth on variables you do not command. This is emotional discipline, not apathy. It allows full engagement without desperation. The Stoic practice is to define your daily duty. What actions must you take today, regardless of outcome? Train your body. Do your work with precision. Speak truthfully and act with restraint. Once duty is defined, results become irrelevant to your stability. Success becomes welcome, but not required. Failure becomes information, not a verdict. You continue moving without emotional whiplash. This consistency builds inner strength. Men who chase outcomes live in constant anxiety. They fear loss, rejection, and embarrassment. Men who commit to action operate from self-command. They move forward even when results are uncertain. That movement itself becomes confidence. Stoicism does not guarantee victory. It guarantees resilience. You're never finished because something didn't work. You're finished only when you abandon discipline. Everything else is a temporary condition. This mindset frees you from the tyranny of success and failure. You stop bargaining with life. You stop waiting for permission to feel stable. You act, adjust, and act again. The man who commits to action never collapses with failure. Rule 5. Train your mind before life trains it for you. Life is a brutal instructor when you arrive unprepared. It does not ease you into hardship or ask for consent. If you have not trained your mind beforehand, life will do it for you, harshly. This is why Stoics never wait for a crisis to build strength. They train in advance. Voluntary discomfort is at the center of this discipline. It means choosing controlled difficulty while conditions are stable, not to suffer needlessly, but to reduce fear of suffering. Seneca slept on the floor and ate plain food to practice poverty. He wanted to know that even at his worst, he would survive. By rehearsing hardship, you remove its power. Fear thrives in unfamiliar territory. Once discomfort becomes familiar, it loses its threat. Your mind stops reacting as if danger is imminent. Calm replaces panic. Modern life rarely forces this training. Comfort is always within reach. Heat, food, entertainment, and distraction are constant. Stoicism deliberately interrupts that comfort. It introduces friction where none is required. Cold exposure is a simple example. A cold shower shocks the system and triggers resistance. The instinct is to escape immediately. Staying still and breathing trains composure under stress. You practice command over impulse. Light fasting works the same way. Hunger creates urgency and irritation. Most people immediately obey that discomfort. Stoic training teaches you to observe it without reaction. You learn that discomfort does not demand obedience. Doing difficult work first follows the same logic. When you tackle the hardest task early, you override avoidance. You train discipline instead of chasing relief. The mind learns to move toward resistance rather than away from it. This rewires how you handle pressure. Each of these practices builds mental immunity. Small, controlled stress strengthens psychological tolerance. The nervous system becomes less reactive. You stop interpreting discomfort as danger. This is the foundation of resilience. Men who avoid discomfort remain fragile. They panic when systems fail or routines collapse. Men who train discomfort remain steady. They recognize the sensation and continue functioning. Familiarity creates stability. This training does not make you harsh or joyless. It makes comfort optional rather than necessary. You enjoy ease without depending on it. You remain capable when ease disappears. That independence is power. Stoicism is not about suffering more. It is about suffering less when suffering is unavoidable. Training reduces shock, not pain. The prepared mind absorbs impact without spiraling. That absorption keeps you effective. When a crisis arrives, there is no time to build strength. You rely on what you have already practiced. The mind defaults to its training. If discipline is familiar, panic is foreign. A trained mind doesn't panic. Rule 6. Use adversity as fuel, not as an excuse. Every man will face adversity. That truth does not discriminate by intelligence, effort, or morality. Loss, humiliation, rejection, and failure arrive whether you are ready or not. What separates men is not the presence of hardship, but how they use it. Stoicism draws a sharp line between two types of men. There are men who turn adversity into an excuse, and there are men who turn adversity into fuel. The first group says, "This is why I can't move forward." The second says, "This is what forces me to move forward." Both experience the same hit, but only one becomes stronger. Stoicism is built on a ruthless principle. The obstacle is the way. This means resistance is not a detour from progress. It is the path itself. What blocks you reveal exactly where strength must be built. Without resistance, discipline remains untested and fragile. Most men instinctively resent adversity. They see it as an interruption. Their plans are delayed, their pride is bruised, their comfort is threatened. So they explain, complain, and wait for conditions to improve. This waiting quietly robs them of momentum. The Stoic refuses to wait for ideal conditions. He understands that ease does not build capacity, pressure does. Being underestimated becomes an advantage rather than an insult. It removes distraction and sharpens focus. Disrespect is one of the most common triggers. Many men respond emotionally, trying to restore status through reaction. The Stoic responds with increased discipline and silence. He lets behavior improve instead of ego. The insult becomes fuel rather than poison. Failure works the same way. Some men treat failure as proof that they are not capable. They retreat, lower standards, or abandon the attempt. Stoics treat failure as feedback. It exposes weak points that success hides. Failure strips away illusion. It forces clarity. It shows you what does not work and what must change. When used correctly, it saves time rather than wasting it. Failure becomes instruction, not identity. Adversity becomes dangerous only when it is interpreted incorrectly. When men replay the story of injustice, they harden into resentment. When they repeat explanations, they replace action with narrative. This is how men hollow themselves out from the inside. They are not defeated by life, but by fixation. Stoicism demands immediate reframing. Not days later, not after emotions are cool, immediately. You ask, how can this strengthen me if I respond correctly? Being ignored becomes space to work unnoticed. Being rejected becomes clarity about direction. Being delayed becomes preparation time. Being challenged becomes proof you are growing. Each obstacle reshapes behavior instead of stopping it. Men who use adversity as an excuse become predictable. Their lives stall while their explanations multiply. They stay angry, but unchanged. Over time, even their anger loses force. They fade quietly into resignation. Men who use adversity as fuel become controlled and dangerous. They grow quieter instead of louder, more disciplined instead of reactive. They do not announce change or seek validation. They allow pressure to sculpt results. Stoicism does not deny pain. It denies victimhood. It accepts that unfairness exists without granting it authority. Energy once spent complaining is redirected into structure. This redirection restores self-command. When adversity becomes fuel, bitterness dissolves. You stop asking why things happened to you. You start asking how to move forward from here. Clarity replaces frustration. Movement replaces stagnation. Every hardship contains potential energy. It can rot inside you or drive you forward. That choice is always yours, regardless of circumstances. No obstacle is wasted unless you refuse to use it. Every hit can either harden you or hollow you. Rule 7. Remember death to stay strong. Most people avoid thinking about death because they mistake it for pessimism. Stoicism treats death differently. It is not a threat, but a clarifier. Remembering death does not weaken a man. It sharpens him. It strips life down to what actually matters. Memento mori means, remember you will die, not obsess over dying. It is a tool to wake you up. When death is kept in view, trivial problems lose their grip. Drama feels embarrassing instead of urgent. Time becomes precious instead of disposable. Men become weak when they live as if time is endless. They delay difficult conversations. They tolerate situations they despise. They waste years on distractions and grievances. The illusion of unlimited time quietly drains strength. Marcus Aurelius warned against this illusion constantly. He reminded himself to live as if time were borrowed. Borrowed time demands respect. You do not waste what is not truly yours. You use it carefully, deliberately, and without excess. Death cuts through procrastination immediately. When you remember that life is finite, excuses lose credibility. "I'll do it later" begins to sound dishonest. You act now, or you accept that you never will. This urgency creates focus, not anxiety. Remembering death also ends unnecessary conflict. Petty arguments feel absurd when measured against mortality. Ego battles lose importance. The need to be right fades. Energy is conserved instead of wasted. A man who remembers death becomes efficient. He chooses his battles carefully. He invests attention where it counts. He stops performing for approval. Strength becomes quiet and grounded. Stoicism does not ask you to fear death. It asks you to respect it. Death reminds you that every day is already a gift, not in a sentimental way, but in a practical one. You stop squandering what cannot be replaced. This mindset also stabilizes fear. When you accept death, smaller fears shrink. Rejection, embarrassment, and failure lose their power. None of them are final. They stop controlling your decisions. The Stoic uses death as a measuring stick. Does this matter in the long run? Is this worth my limited energy? Will this decision strengthen my character? These questions bring immediate clarity. A simple daily practice keeps this awareness sharp. Ask yourself 3 questions each morning. What would I do today if I knew time was limited? What am I wasting energy on that does not matter? What action would I regret not taking? These questions cut through confusion. They expose avoidance and distraction. They push you toward decisive action. They realign priorities without emotional drama. Consistency turns this reflection into strength. Men who forget death drift. They argue, delay, and numb themselves. Men who remember death move with intent. They simplify their lives and sharpen their focus. They become difficult to shake. Remembering death does not darken life. It brightens it by removing excess. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You act while time is still available. This creates calm urgency. A Stoic man is not rushed, but he is not idle. He understands the clock is always ticking. He wastes no energy on what cannot be controlled. He invests fully in what can. That discipline is strength. Death is not an enemy in Stoicism. It is a mentor. It reminds you that every moment counts. It demands presence without panic. It forces honesty. When you live with this awareness, nothing trivial dominates you. You move forward without hesitation. You speak clearly. You act deliberately. A man who remembers death wastes no energy. What you've just heard is not a philosophy of comfort. It is a philosophy of survival. Stoicism does not promise that life will be fair, kind, or predictable. It teaches you how to remain standing when it isn't. You learned to control your response instead of reacting blindly. You learned to accept pain rather than run from it. You learned to stop expecting fairness, detach from outcomes, train your mind before a crisis arrives. Use adversity as fuel and remember death to stay focused. These are not ideas meant to be admired. They are meant to be practiced. A Stoic mindset is built through daily choices, not inspiration. In moments of pressure, discomfort, or uncertainty, return to these principles. They are designed to hold when motivation fades. Do not wait for life to test you. Train now while things are calm. Practice restraint when anger feels justified. Choose discipline when comfort is available. This is how resilience is earned. Stoicism does not make life easy. It makes you unbreakable. It does not remove pain. It removes panic, bitterness, and collapse. It gives you something far more valuable than happiness: stability. If this way of thinking resonates with you, don't just move on. Reflect on which principle challenged you the most. That's usually where growth begins. Share your thoughts in the comments. This channel is built for men who think deeply, not loudly. If you want more content like this, subscribe and stay with the journey. The next video will take these ideas even deeper and show you how to apply Stoic discipline in daily life. Remember this: I don't need life to be gentle. I need my mind to be strong. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.